The day I stopped waiting. Progress begins with one decision. Hello, language learners. Welcome back to my channel. Learning English isn't just about grammar rules and vocabulary lists. It's about connecting with emotions, people, and life's everyday experiences. Stories, especially ones that touch your heart, are one of the best ways to improve your English fluency. They help you understand sentence flow, idiomatic expressions, and meaningful conversations in real context. And today's story is more than just about English. It's about a common struggle we all face, procrastination. So, grab a notebook, relax with a cup of tea, and immerse yourself in this tale from the beautiful city of Florence, Italy, where one man's journey to overcome procrastination teaches us the true value of time, purpose, and belief in ourselves. The Day I Stopped Waiting. Part 1. The City of Delays. Luca Moretti was a 28-year-old artist living in Florence, a city painted with sunsets, cobbled streets, and centuries-old towers. Yet, despite the charm around him, Luca felt stuck. He had talent. People told him so. His sketchbooks were full of unfinished ideas. His canvas lay blank in the corner of his studio apartment, and his email inbox was filled with unread job offers for exhibitions. But Luca had a habit. A silent thief that stole his time every day. Procrastination. He would wake up with plans to complete a painting, write a proposal, or apply for a grant. But by noon, he was scrolling on his phone or reorganizing his pencils. I'll start after lunch, he'd tell himself. After lunch became evening. Evening became tomorrow. And tomorrow, well, tomorrow never came. His family was supportive but concerned. His younger sister, Julia, often visited. Luca, you've got something special, she said one afternoon, holding his old charcoal sketch of a Florentine market scene. Why are you letting it go to waste? I just need more time, Luca replied. I'm not ready yet, but time won't wait for you. Those words echoed in his head long after she left. Part 2. The Man in the Tower. One gray morning, as the autumn wind whistled through the narrow streets of Florence, Luca took his sketchbook and walked aimlessly. His feet led him to the Piazza della Signoria, where the ancient Palazzo Vecchio stood tall, its clock tower rising proudly into the misty sky. He stared up at the tower for a long time. It reminded him of how quickly time moved, how minutes turned into days, and days into years. Without thinking, he climbed a long staircase to the top, seeking a view or maybe just a moment away from everything. At the top, the city lay beneath him like a painting. Red rooftops, narrow alleys, the Arno River gleaming in the distance. It was beautiful and overwhelming. You're not the first one to come here lost, a calm voice said. Luca turned. An older man, probably in his 70s, stood beside the clock mechanism. He wore a worn-out coat and a gentle smile. I come here every morning, the man said, to remind myself of something important. Luca raised an eyebrow. What's that? That time, the man said, tapping the large clock face behind him, doesn't stop for anyone. And if you wait for the perfect moment, you'll wait forever. Luca nodded slowly. The word struck a chord. I'm Pietro, the man extended his hand. Used to be a watchmaker. Luca, he replied, shaking it. An artist? Or, at least, trying to be. Trying is good, Pietro said, smiling. Trying is better than waiting. The two sat on the bench near the bell tower. Pietro's hands trembled slightly as he spoke, but his voice remained steady. I once waited too long, Luca. I had dreams, books to write, places to visit. But I kept saying later. Later became never. Why? Fear, doubt, comfort. I told myself I had time. Until one day, I realized I'd spent most of my life preparing and not enough living. Luca felt a lump in his throat. Don't be like me, Pietro said. Create. Fail. Start again. But don't wait. The sun peeked out from behind the clouds, casting golden light across the rooftops. You see that light? Pietro pointed. Every day, the city changes under it, but the tower stays still. Life moves on. People pass by. The only question is, will you be part of the movement or the one watching it? Luca stared at the light, then down at his own hands that had held back out of fear. Thank you, he said. Don't thank me. Just do one thing for yourself. Start something today. Anything. That night, Luca returned home. He opened his sketchbook, picked up a pencil, and without thinking, began to draw. It wasn't perfect, but it was a beginning. Part 3. The Paintbrush Promise. The next few mornings, Luca woke up earlier than usual. Something inside him had shifted. The voice of the clock tower and the old man Pietro echoed in his thoughts. Don't wait. So he didn't. Each day, he committed to just one sketch, even if it was just a window frame or a cup of coffee. Sometimes, the sketches were awkward. Other times, they captured the soul of a street corner or a stranger's smile. The important thing was, he was moving. One morning, while sketching at a cafe near Ponte Vecchio, he met Elena, a violinist who played music outside the Uffizi Gallery. "That's me," she asked, pointing at the sketchbook. Luca smiled shyly. "You looked peaceful when you played. I wanted to remember that." She peered over his shoulder. "It's beautiful. You should share these." "I'm not sure they're good enough." "That's not your decision to make," she said, packing her violin. "That's the world's." They became friends, two creative souls trying to find their way. Elena encouraged Luca to display his work at the local art fair, held once a month in Piazza Santo Spirito. "I'm not ready," he said the first time, but the second time he whispered maybe, and by the third time he signed up. The day of the fair, the square buzzed with color and laughter. Artists set up stalls, musicians played live, and tourists wandered with gelato in hand. Luca's heart pounded as he laid out his drawings, some on canvas, others just pages from his sketchbook. He almost backed out, but then he saw Pietro, yes, the old man for the clock tower, standing at the far end, giving him a small nod. Trying is better than waiting, Luca whispered to himself. To his surprise, people stopped. They admired. One couple bought a piece, a sketch of a little boy feeding pigeons. A traveler from Germany asked if Luca had prints. By sunset, he had sold 5 drawings. Luca couldn't stop smiling. Later that evening, Elena joined him by the riverside. The Arno shimmered under the orange sky. "Feels good, doesn't it?" she said. He nodded. "Almost let it all go. My dream, my ability, all because I kept saying tomorrow. And now, I've made a promise. Not just to myself, to Pietro, to anyone who's ever waited too long." She smiled. "That sounds like the start of something big." Part 4. The moment I chose to begin. A few weeks had passed since the art fair. Luca's confidence grew little by little. His mornings were no longer lost to aimless scrolling or daydreams. He painted before breakfast, sketched during walks. He even started uploading some of his artwork to a small blog called Florence di Mattina, Florence in the morning. The blog slowly attracted attention. A gallery curator named Francesco Bernardi stumbled upon his post about sketching near the old town square. He sent an email. "Your work captures the poetry of everyday Florence. Are you open to exhibiting at our next Emerging Artists of Tuscany show next month?" Luca read the message 3 times. His heart leapt. His dream, an art exhibition, was becoming real. But then came doubt. Am I ready? What if I fail? What if I don't like it in person? What if I need more time? He closed the email and told himself, "I'll think about it tomorrow." The next few days were quiet. Too quiet. Luca avoided his brushes, avoided the mirror. He didn't reply to the email. Not yet. The fear was creeping back in, like an old ghost whispering in his ear. Then, one afternoon, a knock at the door interrupted his overthinking. It was Pietro, wearing a worn brown coat and carrying a rolled-up umbrella. He smiled. "I heard from a little violinist that you got an invitation." Luca looked down. "I did, but I haven't responded." "Why?" "I don't think I'm good enough yet. Maybe I need more time." Pietro sat on the edge of the couch, unbothered by the damp. "You know the clock I tend? It's old, imperfect, and noisy. Sometimes it ticks too fast or too slow. But it still tells the truth. It still moves forward." He leaned closer. "You don't need to be perfect to be ready. You just need to move forward." Luca's eyes welled up. "What if I fail?" "You already failed 100 days when you did nothing. This is your chance to try." That night, Luca sat at his desk. He read Francesco's email again. His fingers trembled as he typed. "Dear Mr. Bernardi, thank you. I would be honored to exhibit my work. Best, Luca Romano. He hit send. No fanfare, no cheering crowd, just the quiet thrill of knowing. He had chosen action over avoidance. The exhibition. The gallery smelled of paint and possibility. Luca's name appeared in the catalog next to 12 other young artists. His corner held 8 of his best pieces, each one born from mornings he once wasted, from doubts he once believed. People wandered in. They lingered. Some asked questions. Some smiled quietly and moved on. One woman wiped away a tear as she stared at a sketch of an old woman watering flowers. Luca had drawn it after watching Pietro tend to the church garden. Elena arrived mid-afternoon. "You did it." "No," Luca replied with a grin. "I stopped waiting. That did it." Parting words, don't wait to begin. That night, as Luca walked home under the stars, he thought about all the days he had thrown away, days eaten by later, stolen by someday. He knew now. The cure to procrastination isn't a magic formula. It's a single step, then another, and another. He paused by the Arno River, watching the city lights dance on the water. In his pocket was a folded note, a sketch he had done long ago, of a boy staring out a window. He turned it over and scribbled something new. Start where you are. Use what you have. Don't wait. Final reflections. For you, the listener, if you're learning English or chasing any dream, you might relate to Luca. We all wait. We wait to feel ready, to feel perfect, but procrastination steals dreams. Not because you aren't capable, but because you believe you're not ready. Truth is, starting messy is better than waiting forever. So, whether it's speaking English in public, writing your first paragraph, or picking up that old passion again, start today. Start small, but start. Ready to break free from the cycle of "I'll do it later"? Here are some simple, powerful tips to help you stay on track and start making real progress. Use the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. Break big tasks into small steps. Instead of learn English, say learn 5 new words today. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Start with just 10 focused minutes on your task. Reward yourself. Celebrate little wins, even with a smile or a cup of tea. Remind yourself of your why. Write down why these matters to you, and keep it visible. Progress over perfection. Your best today may not be perfect, but it moves you forward. Visualize success. Picture how you'll feel once you've started or completed the task. Avoid waiting for motivation. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Thanks for listening to Luca's story. If this touched your heart or helped you think differently about procrastination, please like, share, and subscribe to stay inspired with more stories that not only teach English, but transform lives. Tell me in the comments, what's one thing you've been putting off? And what small step will you take today to move forward? Until next time, don't wait. Create.